They moved into the house on Hemlock Drive in late October. The Johnsons, a family of 4, and their golden retriever, Max. It was the kind of neighborhood that looked perfect on postcards: trimmed hedges, glowing porch lights, and mailboxes that still had names painted neatly on them. Everything felt new to them, too new, maybe. On the first night, as the family unpacked boxes, Max stood at the end of the hallway, growling. His hackles rose, his eyes locked on something none of them could see. "Probably a mouse," said Tom, the father, though his voice carried that uneasy laugh people use when they don't believe themselves. But as days went by, Max kept staring at corners, at ceilings, at mirrors. Sometimes he would bark until his throat went raw, pacing in circles while the air around him seemed to hum. One morning, when Linda went to open the curtains, she found condensation on the glass, not the kind from humidity, but from breath. Finger-shaped streaks ran down the inside of the window, even though nobody had touched it. That night, the front door opened by itself. The lights flickered, the walls creaked like they were breathing, and the TV switched on with nothing but static. Tom swore he saw something in that static, faces, maybe, frozen and distorted. They called the power company the next day. The line was disconnected. Then came the knocks. Always 3, always from inside the walls. Max refused to enter certain rooms now. He'd sit outside the children's bedroom door and whimper, as if pleading with something inside. At night, they'd hear footsteps upstairs, slow, dragging, even when everyone was downstairs. The children began talking about the gray man. They said he stood in the hallway at night, whispering their names. Linda tried to leave a light on for them, but every bulb in the house burned out by morning. One evening, the family sat together at the dinner table, trying to ignore the whispers and the cold spots that drifted through the kitchen. The clock ticked loudly, tick, 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 until it stopped at exactly 11:11. Then Max began barking at the window again. Outside, a moving van pulled up. A new family stepped out. Tom blinked. What in the hell? They watched through the glass as strangers walked up their driveway. A man, a woman, and 2 kids. The woman knocked on the door. From outside. The Johnsons looked at one another in silence, the truth crawling up their throats like cold air. The house was no longer theirs. When the new family opened the front door, they shivered, and said it felt cold, too cold. Max barked once more and ran toward them, tail wagging, desperate to be seen. But the Johnsons stayed behind the threshold, pale, transparent, the sound of their own heartbeat long since gone. The dog was the only one who could still see them, and every night, as the lights flickered and the walls creaked again, Max curled in the corner, staring at the shadows that used to be his family, the ones who never left.
Wake up.